Hello there, this is a video this time for people who are already trading but for whatever reason aren't currently making a profit or aren't consistently profitable. So get asked by a lot of people what it is they're doing wrong, why they're not profitable. Some of them are making money some days, but they for whatever reason don't seem to be able to make money regularly or on a consistent basis. Some people just can't seem to make a profit at all. So in either case, this video is going to look at that, how to fix your trading. And the good news is that actually fixing your trading is quite easy. The most common reaction traders have when they don't make a profit is to try a new strategy or a new system. And this strategy jumping is one of my 7 deadly sins of trading. Now if you haven't read my 7 deadly sins report, you can get it for free. Just head over to the website, put in your email address, make sure you're signed up to my newsletter, and you will get that report sent to you, not straight away, but there's some other stuff that will get sent to you as well, loads of good information and some free reports, so it's worth doing. So as I say, that's a very common reaction is to jump from one strategy to another, try out the next big thing, the latest craze, the thing that everyone is talking about in the forums or whatever. But it's just not a good way to get profitable. In fact, there's every chance you will never get profitable if you do that, because all of these strategies, what you're trading, are most likely profitable strategies in themselves. People are trading them because they're making money off them. You probably got the strategy from a book or a course or from another trader, and whoever wrote that strategy is consistently making money from it. So the chances are that the strategy is not the problem, that you're the problem. So you don't want to try and fix the strategy, you want to try and fix your own trading. The good news is there are really only 3 possible areas where you could be having problems. So let's go and have a look at what those 3 areas are. First one is taking entries when you shouldn't be. Now these could be substandard entries, i.e. your strategy suggests a setup and you see something that looks quite like the setup on the chart but isn't quite there, but you take it anyway. That will be a substandard entry. Another reason is just taking entries what don't even appear on the trading plan, and this is very common reason for over trading. Both of these problems, substandard entries and taking trades what aren't on the plan at all, come down to the same thing. It's usually either an absolute need to make a profit, which is very, very common in new traders, particularly traders what have given up regular income, regular work in order to learn trading. They need to get profitable as quickly as possible, obviously, to provide an income for themselves, for their families, and that puts enormous pressure on you as a trader, and it makes it very tempting to take substandard trades or off-plan trades. And the other reason is just sheer impatience, something I know a lot about because it's something I suffer from myself, is just being impatient, not being able to have the patience to wait for a proper trade setup to come along, getting a bit trigger happy, taking trades which just shouldn't be taken. So that's the first reason, the first area where you could be going wrong. Second area, as you can probably guess, is taking exits when you shouldn't. Now this could be that taking an exit too soon or taking an exit too late. If you're taking an exit too soon, chances are you're leaving money on the table, you're not getting as much cash out of the trade as you could, and that means that you're not making enough to cover the inevitable losses that will occur along the way. Taking exits too late can be just as big as a problem. Obviously there's an optimum time to exit a trade as well. You want to try and maximise the profit. Trade starts going into declining again, profit starts going back down, then you can lose a lot of money that way. And it's our old enemies, fear and greed, really, that are playing on us here, causing us to jump out too soon because we're afraid that we're going to lose what paper profit we've already made, or greed keeps us in too long sometimes and we'll stay in and end up exiting too late. It's all emotional problems again, and it all comes down to, again, lack of confidence in the strategy, as I talked about in a previous video, or again just impatience, seeing a bit of profit on the table and just being greedy, impatient, taking it while it's there and not waiting for more profit that is potentially there in the trade. So that's the two of the possible three reasons why you may not be making a profit. The third reason could indeed be the strategy itself. Could just be that the strategy you're trading sucks. Maybe it wasn't back tested properly or forward tested. Forward testing means essentially paper trading it. Or it might be the strategy that you're trading only works in particular market conditions. Could be that the strategy works fantastically well in a bull market and we move into a bear market and it just don't perform, or vice versa. Now, this last case, the strategy basically sucking, is the least common reason for traders not being consistently profitable. And it's the only time, if it is the reason, it's the only time that changing strategy is a valid response to not being profitable. And if you do need to change strategy, then obviously you want to try and find a strategy that works in all market conditions, not some short-term fad, some latest trend that everyone's talking about in the forums. You want to find something what's solid, reliable, and is going to work whether the market's going up or down. And then you want to paper trade that strategy once you've picked one, forward test it, keep paper trading it until you're consistently profitable with it and very confident in it, so that you don't have any of the emotional problems that we talked about earlier. In the other two cases, if it's your entries or exits that are a problem, then this comes down to a lack of discipline, or your emotions controlling you, not you controlling your emotions. And for that you need to go back and watch the head stuff video, what I put out a few weeks back. It's up there on the blog, it's free to watch, and that will give you some ideas on how to overcome those particular problems. Now, if you've been following along, the question that obviously comes up is, how are you going to know which of these three issues is your problem? Obviously it could be all of them, could be any of them, could be any one of them, or any combination, but you need to know which of them it is in order that you can then go and fix that problem. And there are two very simple steps to find out which of these issues is causing your lack of profitability. Step one is keeping detailed trading records. Now, obviously you want to make sure that you have a written trading plan, and I hope anyone watching this has got that. And then essentially you want to note down all of your trade entries and exits, details of. Pen and paper is fine for this, keep it simple, you don't need fancy technology, just literally a pen and paper. And then each time you enter a trade, you want to write down, first of all, what setup from your trading plan does this trade correspond to. So if you've got 3 different setups that you trade, you want to just note down which of those 3 it is. And you also want to write down the name of the stocks that you're trading, the exact time, and the price of that stock as you take your entry. And then you want to do exactly the same for the exit. When you exit, you note down again the time and the exact price, and really you want to note down the corresponding reason for your exit as well, because your trading plan should give you reasons, criteria for exiting your trade, whether it's a win or a loss. Same thing applies. Write down why it is you're exiting your trade. There's a very good chance that just doing this step will in itself fix your trading, because it helps enormously with discipline and accountability. You're suddenly holding yourself accountable to yourself, but accountable nonetheless, whereas if you're not logging your trades, you're not accountable to anybody. So it may just be that already doing this step, which is designed to try and find out where you're going wrong, may actually in itself fix your trading. We move on to step 2, and this is where you examine your trading records that you've been keeping. Now, you don't want to do this on the same day that you take your trades. You need to put some distance between yourself and the trades that you've taken, the decisions that you've taken. So there's no point in trading for a couple of hours, logging all of your trades, and then immediately afterwards going back and examining your trade log, because the trades are too fresh in your mind. You're going to try and justify those trades from your memory of what's just happened. If you put some time between you, and the next morning is ideal, sleep on it, get some distance between you and the trade, then go back. You can now look at your trade log with a very clear head. It's not fresh in your mind. You can look at it with some distance. You can look at the log, look at the reason why you took the trade, go back find the chart, look at the chart for the exact moment you entered, compare that with your trading plan and see, was that really the kind of exit that I should have been taking? Does that entry and exit appear in my trading plan, or was that substandard, or was it just an off-plan trade? You want to do this every single day because you need to spot any patterns what are occurring, and you'll be surprised undoubtedly by what you find. Everyone who does this I talk to who does this finds something surprising as they go back and look over their trades over a period of time. And I'm talking about doing this, over several weeks, not just for a couple of days, because you need to do this in all different kinds of market conditions. And some days you'll just have a bad day naturally, that happens. Some days you'll have a good day naturally, everything will just go right, you'll be lucky, that happens as well. You need to do this over a long period of time to really understand where it is that you're going wrong, what it is that you're doing that isn't right. So as you go through this, note down, the errors, what you find, whether it's that you're taking substandard entries or exits, or that that you're doing everything perfectly according to your plan, but it just isn't making money, in which case that's an indication that the strategy itself is no good. Note down the list of errors that you are making, and then keep that list of errors next to your whatever computer it is what you use to trade. And then before you start each trading session, read through that list carefully. Don't just skim through it, read it properly and remind yourself of exactly what errors you've made in the past, and tell yourself, you don't want to repeat these errors again. Now, obviously it's not going to work first time. Some people will still make the same errors again. But if you keep doing this, repeat the exercise again and again, you'll see the same errors cropping up again and again, and at least then you'll know where the problem is. You can then go and do some head stuff to try and fix these problems. So in summary then, as I say, there really are only three reasons that you can fail to be profitable. Either you're taking bad entries, or you're taking bad exits, or the strategy itself don't work. If you log and analyse all your trades, then that's going to tell you quite quickly where your particular problem area is. If it's bad entries or exits, then you need to work on your head. Keep doing the trade logging, because that will help with the head stuff in itself. It will give you some more discipline and some accountability. And go and watch the head stuff video as well, and as I say, there's some ideas in there for getting the discipline sorted out. And if it's the strategy that turns out to be at fault, then it's perfectly valid at that point to try a new strategy. And if you do that, then you want to find one what works in all market conditions: bull markets, bear markets, flat markets. You want to find a strategy really that you can learn inside out and that you can then just stick with forevermore. Why keep going around learning new strategies every time market conditions change? There's no point in doing that. Learn one what works all the time, and you're golden. Okay then, hope that was useful, and have another video for you soon.